they need to open an investigation on Wendy Williams. $55 million cash, guys, was stolen from Wendy Williams, according to Wendy Williams' friend. Her friend says days. She saw $55 million in Wendy's account only days later for her guardian to call her and say Wendy is penniless. She's asking, how does somebody use up $55 million cash? And we're not talking about $55 million in assets, your house, your cars, whatever else you have. This woman says she saw in Wendy's account a balance of $55 million. And then days later, Wendy is broke. So they're pointing fingers at Wendy's guardian, Sabrina. Anyway, so I don't want to miss anything, so I'm going to read some of the things that I took down. So Wendy Williams' friend, Regina, alleges that Wendy's guardian, Sabrina, stole $55 million from Wendy. Regina claims that Wendy had $55 million in her Wells Fargo bank just days before Sabrina informed her she was penniless. Wendy's friend's name is Regina and Wendy's guardian is Sabrina. So, anyway, so let me read what was written. And this is an affidavit, so sworn statements that she's giving to the courts about what she saw and what she witnessed, and that she saw with her own two eyes a balance of $55 million in her bank account. Anyway, so she says, in July of 2022, Wendy invited me to stay with her in New York City for an extended period. During that visit, Wendy expressed to me that she wished to explore options regarding her estate, specifically a possible change with her current financial institution. Wells Fargo was that institution she was talking about. She also shared with me documents from Wells Fargo showing a cumulative balance of nearly $55 million. She goes on to say, Wendy had scheduled an appointment with Bank of America's private banking group. I remained present during the entire presentation. Following the meeting, I witnessed Wendy handing the Bank of America proposals and documents to Sabrina, who was her guardian at that time, handed the documents to Sabrina as we were all in the same vehicle to the courthouse. So Wendy was thinking either splitting the balance she had in Wells Fargo, which is something you should always do, especially if you have this much money. Don't put all of it in one bank account, or use one bank rather. You should have multiple bank accounts, first of all, if you have that much money. But second of all, you should have at least 2 or 3 banks that you're using. What if one bank goes down, right? You have other banks you can go to. It's just too much money to have in one bank. So in 2022, Wendy was thinking of doing just that. Maybe moving everything from Wells Fargo. Why? Maybe there was something she didn't like about Wells Fargo, and she was talking to then, I believe, her financial advisor from Wells Fargo, Sabrina. Okay, remember Sabrina is her guardian, but also a representative of Wells Fargo, I believe, at that point. If I'm wrong, I'll definitely include it in the video. So Wendy schedules an appointment with Bank of America, and her friend Regina is present at that time because she's living with Wendy, and her advisor Sabrina is also present. Wendy passes all the documents to Sabrina so that they should start the process of moving some of Wendy's money to Bank of America. She says, days later, I returned to my home in California and received an urgent call from Wendy's then publicist. The publicist claimed to have overheard a conversation between Wendy and Sabrina, whereas Sabrina gave Wendy the unfortunate news that there is no money in Wendy's accounts. So this woman is asking, how is that possible? How did the $55 million get used in days? But let me say this. I'm quite surprised that Wendy Williams had a balance of $55 million. That is a lot of money. Cash, that is a hell lot of money to have in liquid assets, right? Even the richest people don't have that much cash. When we hear that, what's his name? Who's this crazy guy, the owner of Tesla and Twitter? Elon Musk being the richest guy worth billions of dollars. That doesn't mean he has those 20 or $10 billion, however much they say he's worth. He doesn't have that sitting in his account. In fact, most of their net worth is from properties or assets they own rather than it being cold cash sitting in a bank account. There was a reason why. Remember what's his when he tried to buy Twitter, when he was buying Twitter, he had to borrow some money. No, let me take that back. He had to sell some of his stock in Tesla to have the money to purchase Twitter. I think it was like 44 billion or so. So they don't have that much money sitting in cash. But Wendy had $55 million cash. That's a lot of money for someone who is not even worth $100 million. So Wendy's net worth was, most of it was liquid cash, which is amazing. But anyway, so she goes back to California. Wendy's publicist calls her and says, you won't believe, I overheard Sabrina telling Wendy that she has no money. And the woman is thinking, how come? I was just there. We talked to Bank of America. She gave Sabrina documents to move that money. How come she has no money? Anyway, she says, in disbelief, I immediately contacted Sabrina. Sabrina and I have been in regular contact, and I fully expected her to tell me there was some sort of miscommunication. But instead, I was blocked from all communication with her and denied access to my beloved friend. Now, I think Regina, Wendy's friend, knew this much information about Wendy's finances because Wendy told her, or Wendy allowed her to be present while they discussed her finances, right? But calling her financial advisor or her guardian and asking information about Wendy's finances, no one is supposed to give you that. In fact, the advisor or guardian now or then would have been wrong if she gave you any details about Wendy's finances without Wendy's permission or Wendy not being there. Wendy has to be present when her finances are being discussed, right? Anyway, the thing that I found disturbing is she was then blocked from all communications with Wendy. This is a way of divide and conquer, for lack of a better word, right? It's like they want to take money from Wendy and they are keeping Wendy away from anybody who can assist her. She knew very well that her friend Regina witnessed how much Wendy had in her account, allegedly, and she just refused to tell her anything, and she wouldn't even allow her to speak to Wendy. Regina went on to add in a sworn statement that she hasn't spoken to Wendy since May 2023. So why are they keeping Wendy from everybody? Now, I can understand not sharing Wendy's private information, such as her financial status and information. But why can't she talk to Wendy? This is someone who came and lived with Wendy for a while, extended period, as she said. Anyway, this affidavit was filed on behalf of Kevin Hunter, Wendy Williams' ex-husband, right? He's still fighting for his alimony or spousal support to be reinstated. Once Wells Fargo froze all of Wendy Williams' accounts, Kevin Hunter's spousal support was also stopped. He's been to court, I think, 2 times now, and they've refused to reinstate his spousal support. So Regina's affidavit is part of an ongoing alimony case between Wendy Williams and her ex-husband, Kevin Hunter. Now listen to the next statement. It's very important. Kevin alleges Wendy's guardian, Sabrina, is responsible for emptying Wendy's accounts and pointing out that Sabrina had been involved in a separate racketeering investigation. Because of that statement, especially that statement, Sabrina has emptied Wendy Williams' accounts, and that she had been investigated for racketeering. Somebody needs to find out about this. Who is this woman? What's her history when it comes to managing people's money? And why was she specifically the appointed guardian to Wendy? I recently watched the Lifetime producers, the people who worked on Wendy's documentary. They expressed concern regarding Wendy Williams' guardian. They said there was during filming of Wendy Williams' documentary, they said that when they started filming, there was no food in Wendy Williams' apartment or house in Miami. Nothing. Wendy was going hungry. Wendy was being allowed to drink as much as she wanted. And Wendy's family was being kept away from Wendy. So they were like, it was very alarming what the court-appointed people were doing to Wendy. It's as if they were allowing Wendy to just slide and waste away. And they were not giving her food. They allowed her to drink as much as possible without food. Right? Eventually, they pointed this out and her family was allowed in. And immediately, the family told the Lifetime production that it has always been this way. We can't even talk to Wendy at times. You guys watch the documentary. You know what the family said, but you need to watch what the Lifetime production company said. It's very disturbing what is happening to Wendy. But anyway, I just wanted to do that quick video to let you guys know that Wendy Williams' ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, says her guardian, Sabrina, stole $55 million or stole Wendy's money. He says she's responsible for emptying her accounts. And as you heard, the friend said, one day Wendy Williams had $55 million. A few days later, the guardian, Sabrina, is saying Wendy is broke. How? Anyway, guys, let's talk about this in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Until the next one, bye.